What if one human mind could unlock the power to end a war, and at the same time, create the power to end the world? This is not a story about a weapon. It is a story about a man whose thoughts moved faster than armies, a man who stood between victory and destruction, a man who won the greatest scientific battle in history and lost his peace forever. He was born at the dawn of the 20th century, in a city alive with noise, ambition, and possibility. A place where cultures collided, where progress raced ahead of reflection. His family lived among books and music, surrounded by ideas and conversation. Knowledge was encouraged, curiosity was expected. Yet his childhood was anything but simple. From an early age, he felt different. His body was fragile. Illness followed him. Thin, quiet, withdrawn, he moved through the world like a shadow among louder, stronger children. While others ran and laughed, he sat alone with books far beyond his years. He read science the way others read adventure. He read poetry the way others searched for meaning. In numbers and words, he found a refuge the physical world denied him. Teachers noticed brilliance long before he did. They saw depth, unusual clarity. A mind that didn't just memorize but understood. His classmates did not. To them, he was strange, distant, unreachable. Conversation came hard, friendship harder. He struggled to read emotion, to belong inside his own body, to exist comfortably among others. Loneliness became familiar. But inside his mind, something burned. Even as a child, it was clear he was not meant for an ordinary life. The universe felt close to him, almost intimate, as if its secrets were whispering, waiting for someone patient enough to listen. When he reached university, his intelligence became impossible to ignore. He learned faster than anyone around him. Concepts others wrestled with for months unfolded in his mind effortlessly. He completed his studies early, mastering subjects many found overwhelming. Professors admired him. Students feared comparison to him. But genius came with a cost. Behind the brilliance lived anxiety, isolation, and crushing self-doubt. His thoughts raced without mercy, folding inward, magnifying every fear. At his lowest point, the pressure nearly destroyed him. His mind fractured, reality blurred, control slipped. Hospitals replaced classrooms. Silence replaced equations. Survival itself became uncertain. Many brilliant minds burn out. Many never recover. He did. Slowly, painfully, he rebuilt himself. He learned discipline, balance. He discovered that intelligence alone was not enough, that a mind must be guided, not unleashed. And in time, he found his true strength. Not in machines, not in experiments, but in ideas, in pure thought. He became a master of theoretical physics, able to imagine realities others could barely describe. He didn't need equipment to explore the universe. He carried it within him. When he spoke, atoms seemed to come alive. Equations became stories. The cosmos felt almost conscious. Students didn't just learn from him. They followed him. Then the world changed. War spread across continents. Dictators rose. Fear became global. Science was no longer neutral. Knowledge had become a weapon, and humanity's future suddenly depended on who discovered its secrets first. Quietly, among physicists, a terrifying realization emerged. Matter itself could be transformed into energy, on a scale beyond imagination. If one nation unlocked it before the others, the balance of the world would shatter forever. Governments panicked. Time collapsed. Decisions that once took years were made in weeks. Moral questions were postponed in favor of survival. And in secrecy, a decision was made. They needed a leader, not a soldier, not a politician, but a mind capable of holding impossible complexity without breaking. They chose him. He was placed in charge of a project so vast, it required tens of thousands of people, yet so secret that most involved never knew its true purpose. A hidden city rose in the desert, fenced, guarded, isolated from the world. Scientists arrived under false names. Families followed. Silence became law. The mission was clear: build a weapon powerful enough to end a global war. He worked without rest. Sleep became rare. Meals forgotten. Smoke curled endlessly from his fingers as his mind refused to slow. His body thinned. His eyes hollowed. Yet beneath the exhaustion burned absolute focus. He was not driven by fame. He was not driven by money. He was driven by fear. Fear of what would happen if someone else finished first. The challenges were relentless. Equations failed. Materials behaved unpredictably. Time slipped away as pressure mounted. Military leaders demanded results. Deadlines tightened. Egos clashed inside rooms filled with the smartest minds on Earth. Arguments erupted. Careers trembled. Brilliant scientists threatened to leave. Yet somehow he held them together. Not through authority, but through respect. He listened when others shouted. He translated confusion into clarity. He absorbed pressure so others could think. He turned chaos into momentum, fear into purpose. He carried the weight alone. Then came the night that changed everything. In the dead of night, in a silent desert, humanity held its breath. A countdown began. 10, 9, 8, 7. Each number fell heavier than the last. Some stared at the ground. Others locked their eyes on the tower. A few whispered prayers not to God but to physics. 6, 5. In his mind, equations replayed themselves not as symbols but as consequences. Branching futures, success, failure, fire, silence, extinction. 4, 3. For the first time, doubt pierced him. Not doubt in the math, but in humanity. In whether this moment should exist at all. 2. He thought of history, of myths, of men who reached too far. 1. And then the universe blinked. Light erupted white, violent, absolute, brighter than thought, brighter than fear. The desert turned to shadowless day. Heat slammed into flesh and bone. The ground buckled. The sky fractured. For a fraction of a second, time stopped. And in that silence between cause and consequence, humanity crossed a line it could never uncross. It worked. The impossible had become real. Cheers erupted. Some laughed, some cried. He did not move. He stood frozen, watching the cloud rise. Victory tasted like ash. Triumph curdled into dread. He knew instantly this could not be undone. A door had been opened, and it would never close. The weapon was used. The war ended. Cities vanished. Lives erased. History bent in seconds. The world called him a hero. But heroes usually sleep at night. He didn't. Instead, he warned. He spoke of limits, of restraint, of responsibility. He begged leaders to slow down to understand what now rested in human hands. But fear had replaced wisdom. Meetings grew colder. Rooms felt smaller. Eyes that once admired him now measured him. His words were recorded, dissected, stripped of context. Every warning became suspicion. Every hesitation, disloyalty. He watched the weapon multiply not once but endlessly. Stronger versions, faster delivery, shorter decision times. What was meant to end a war became a permanent shadow over the future. He spoke out anyway, and paid the price. Security clearances vanished. Invitations stopped. His name faded from decisions shaping generations. He was still brilliant, but brilliance without power is easy to ignore. In quiet moments, he replayed the desert, not the explosion, but the second before it. The instant when the world could still have turned back. That moment haunted him more than any equation. In the end, he understood what no textbook could teach. That humanity's greatest danger is not ignorance. It is knowledge gained faster than wisdom, and that once a thought is unleashed, it cannot be recalled. The same system that once praised him now saw him as a threat. He was questioned, discredited, pushed aside, his voice silenced, his influence erased. The man who helped secure victory was no longer welcome in the future he helped create. This became his final battle, living with the consequences of his own success. In his remaining years, he taught, he reflected, he warned those still willing to listen. He came to understand what few ever truly do, that knowledge is power, but power without wisdom is destruction. He did not regret learning. He regretted how humanity chose to use what he helped unlock. He never sought to be remembered, but history remembers him anyway, as the man who unlocked the universe's deepest secret, as the man who helped end a war, as the man who proved intelligence alone cannot save us. Because the greatest weapon humanity ever created was not made of metal, it was made of thought. And now the question is not what he created, it is what we will do with what remains. Because the future is no longer decided by one mind, or one machine, or one moment. It is shaped by the choices we make after the knowledge exists. If this story made you pause, if it made you uncomfortable, if it made you think, then don't let the thought end here. Share it with someone who believes progress has no cost. Stay curious, but stay responsible. And remember, wisdom must always run ahead of power. If this story moved you, subscribe, and share your thoughts below. Do you believe knowledge should have limits? Let me know in the comment section.